Yo, what's going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys week 9 of the PMC. We are taking on Seabass and the Montreal Monfernos. Week 9, we win. I'm pretty sure we're almost locked in playoffs. I mean, the playoff race is real tight here. I think it will come down to week 10 results. Arcanite took over an 0-6 team. He's bringing that team back into playoff contention. I believe he's running on 3 straight wins right now. So he has a chance to get in. Other coaches in my division, there is Jacob as always with the Green Bay Pikachus. You have D-Pad Gamer and the Orlando City Superiors. Myself and Cloud Envy and the Hamden Hydreigons were all in the playoff hunt. Pretty much you got 6 teams fighting for 3 spots, so unfortunately some people are going to have to get cut. We're going to hop right into the battle here. New changes to the team. We do have Scolipede and Zapdos. Traded away Jirachi and Alakazam, unfortunately, but the ground immunity was needed. So we're going to lead off with my Kecleon here. Try to get rocks up, see if that'll help me, as he does lead his Crobat. Now, I believe I just click Fake Out here. As you're going to see, this is a very long battle, guys. I click Fake Out here just in case he wanted to go for Taunt, because Taunt Crobat against my Kecleon lead makes a lot of sense, especially since I'm going to try to get up rocks. Instead, he just goes straight for the Brave Bird, as I decide to go for the rocks. Now, my Kecleon does not take that well. I could have gone for the Ice Punch, and that probably would have been the best play. Would be to go for that Ice Punch. It would have done a big chunk of damage to this Crobat, and it eventually would have forced him out. Now I'm switching my Kecleon out. I'm going to my Zapdos, anticipating the U-turn or the Brave Bird. And my Zapdos actually has a very good matchup for this game, as you're going to see him just go for the U-turn here. Now, I have HP Ice and Volt Switch on this Zapdos, as he goes out to Gumby the Porygon 2. I also have Toxic on this Zapdos so that I can poison this Porygon 2. Because anytime you hit Porygon 2 with the Toxic, it is a good thing, just to wear down this Porygon 2. And I go for the Toxic, and I miss. He goes for the Toxic, and he misses. So right off the bat, we have 2 blind Pokemon in this game, and it equaled out. I mean, he missed, I missed. I just go straight for the Volt Switch because I do not want my Zapdos poisoned. I have no Heal Bell, I have no Cleric on this team to heal that. So I'm going to go right out into my Spiritomb. I have Rest on this thing, so if I get poisoned, it's not the end of the world. I can just heal all that damage right up, and my status. So here I figure, you know what? I can start setting up some Calm Minds. I mean, there's no reason for me not to until this thing comes out. Now, I do set up one Calm Mind, and I brought this because he's either going to be Tail Glow or he's Calm Mind. And I was really banking on Tail Glow, that way his special defense doesn't get raised and this thing's even harder to kill. Because if he's Calm Mind, he can run max HP, max defense, and pretty much tank any hit from any of the Pokemon I brought with me. I go for a second Calm Mind. As I saw the Tail Glow, I was like, you know what? I can take a hit. I can take maybe 1 hit and then deal a good chunk of damage with the Dark Pulse. And you know what? That's what Spiritomb's going to do. It's going to take the Surf. I just don't even want to say decently. It just takes the Surf. And I go for the Rest here. Now, pretty much I'm banking on 1 Calm Mind or 2 Dark Pulses, pretty much. As he goes for the Tail Glow again, so he's +6 now, and this is where I was kind of wondering, like, maybe I should have brought something to deal with this Manaphy. I go for the Sleep Talk here, and I do get the Dark Pulse, which is going to do pretty good damage to the Manaphy, honestly. Does about 65%, as I know I'm not living this surf. This thing's +6. I'm only +2 special defense. And surprisingly, Spirit Tomb actually took that. Now, if I got Dark Pulse here, Spirit Tomb would have been able to pick up a kill, but instead he gets that Calm Mind just one turn late. And I have no reliable switch to Manaphy at this point, so I just sack off Spirit Tomb. If I got Dark Pulse, we were in fantastic position. Granted, I still would have had to take a Crobat, Brave Bird, or something like that, which Spirit Tomb won't live, but Spirit Tomb would have been able to pick off this Manaphy, and I could have potentially saved it for a matchup against the Porygon 2. So that's not bad in that aspect. I go out to Kecleon here, and I'm just going to click Fake Out, just to deal a good amount of damage to this Manaphy. And I believe I actually had Shadow Sneak. It's actually been a while since I've played this game. Actually, that's right. I go for the Sucker Punch here, because it will take out Manaphy. I was Stealth Rock, Ice Punch, Sucker Punch, and Fake Out. A lot of priority, and I love using the priority on Kecleon. It just helps it. Helps its speed. He goes out to Irrelevant, which is a very good nickname for his Donphan. And now, I could have gone for the Ice Punch. I felt like the Rapid Spin was really obvious, and I could have just gone for the Ice Punch to weaken this Donphan. Granted, I don't know how much damage it would have done to the Donphan, but it would have been a good enough damage to where Sturdy would have been broken. Now, I go out to Scolipede, and here I set up a Swords Dance. I was a little greedy here. I really wasn't sure what he was going to do. And I just let one of my potential win cons of this game get weakened. And that's been the problem for me, is I've not known when to use my win cons. Now, +2 Aqua Tail did not kill this Donphan, so I just have to switch out anticipating an Earthquake. And instead he goes for the knockoff, which hurts Zapdos because Zapdos does want the leftovers. I accidentally forgot Roost. I had Toxic, Defog, Volt Switch, and HP Ice, when I probably should have just brought Roost on this thing. So at this point, Zapdos now has 0 recovery, just more dumb prep on my end. But I do hit this Porygon with the Toxic, as now it's going to start getting whittled down. I'm just going to Volt Switch out of here, not going to deal with it, so that I don't get hit with a Toxic. And I go right out into Jeffrey, the Tentacruel. So now we're in a decent spot here, because I do have Acid Spray on this Tentacruel. I also have a Shuckle Berry to take a hit, just in case he does want to check my Tentacruel with his Landorus Eye. And that's what I go for here. Here I just go for the Acid Spray, lower this thing's special defense by 2, and he goes for the Return, which surprised me. I was just real confused. He's going to withdraw here, and he's going to go out into his Crobat. He's going to take the Stealth Rock damage, but he does have Roost on this Crobat. As I go for the Giga Drain. The Giga Drain was there because he did have a bulky water that I was trying to deal with, and granted, I could have gone for potentially Ice Beam for damage. I mean, probably would have been a good thing. Now, I stay in. Since he's only clicked U-turn really with Crobat, I stay in to allow me to get a free Acid Spray. And instead, I go for the Ice Beam here, as he does read that. I go for the Acid Spray, so now his Porygon 2 is taking damage. And this just sequence of turns right here, this is probably from around turn 18 to 25, 26-ish, was just me struggling to understand the reads here. Now, this was determining whether I should read into Crobat, switch, Do I Giga Drain to get some of my HP back? This Porygon's at -2 special defense, so yeah, you know what, 15-20 HP would be nice. And all this just happened to be was him reading me like a book on what moves. All it took for me to deal a good amount of damage was making one good prediction with his Mons. And you know what, should I go for an Ice Beam? I'm max special attack Tentacruel. That would do a good amount of damage to this Crobat. So there's 3 plays right now where I've already messed up. One was not going for Ice Punch on the Crobat, knowing I can take a Brave Bird. The other one being staying in with Scolipede on the Earthquake. I mean, stuff like that really just put me in a bad position. Now, here I have 2 options. I can HP Ice, predicting him to go into one of his 2 ground types. But instead he goes for the U-turn. He can just go straight for the U-turn just to get out of here. And now he goes out to his Ditto, which, you know what, it's not bad. I clicked Volt Switch on this thing so that I can put myself in a... I clicked Hidden Power Ice so that I can potentially do a good amount of damage. And now that did very little. He's going to Volt Switch as my Zapdos is starting just to get whittled down more and more with no roost. So right away we have 4 mistakes in the game. His Porygon is going to get the download for the attack raise. I go for the Toxic again. Volt Switch probably should have been the play, but it's just real risky clicking Volt Switch when my opponent has 2 ground types that can switch into this thing, one of which can possibly clean up the rest of my team. At this point, I go out to Braviary as he goes for the Toxic. Now, I had Facade on this thing, and now I'm feeling very confident I can make a comeback this game. Because at this point, this Porygon 2 is dead. I click Facade, it's gone. He's going to withdraw. I'm Choice Scarf Facade. He goes out into his Ditto to transform, kind of just to scout my set, really. Well, his Ditto really didn't get that chance, as I just go straight for the Facade, brings it down to 1 HP. I'm going to start racking up the Toxic damage, but this is all going to come down, and I do win the speed tie against this Choice Scarf Ditto. And Braviary is actually going to pick up a kill, and Braviary is actually looking really nice at this point. We got Choice Scarf Facade. Yes, unfortunately, we're going to be taking a bunch of damage. As he's going to go out to Irrelevant, I was not going to risk Ice Shard or anything. He no longer has rocks on his side of the field. So at this point, Zapdos might have to be a sack. As instead, he's just going to go for the knockoff. Zapdos is somehow going to live the hit with 1 HP, which allows me to get a free Hidden Power Ice free Hidden Power Ice damage off on this thing, which will actually put this thing in range now of Aqua Tail from Scolipede. So now Scolipede's looking very nice to win with. I didn't go for the Volt Switch here, and I should have. I should have anticipated his Donphan not wanting to take damage, because that's the only thing that could really take a hit from the Braviary that's all set up, and it also can take hits to an extent from the Scolipede. So he's going to go out to Eugenie. Now, I did not make the right read here. Had I predicted HP Ice, Landorus would have taken a great amount of damage, but instead, I just have to sack off Zapdos at this point. Lando picks up a kill. I go out to my Kecleon here just to fake out. That's pretty much all I can do at this point, and he's just going to withdraw. Very good play on his side as he goes out to the Crobat. Now, I should have honestly gone Ice Punch. I mean, there's no reason for me not to go Ice Punch here. And that's what he was probably scouting at this point, to see if I did have it. I go for the Sucker Punch on the Roost, when I probably should have honestly gotten my Stealth Rocks up. I have 9 HP left. I have no rocks on my side of the field. I should have gotten rocks up. So that way some of the stuff starts getting weakened in range of my Scolipede KOing. He goes for Cross Poison here, kind of just showing off his full move pool. And Tentacruel at this point is just a sack. Not much Tentacruel can do at this point. And I really have no real way to kill this Crobat outside of Scolipede. So Scolipede potentially can take out this Crobat, depending on how much damage is on this Crobat. Now, I'm just going to go out to the Kecleon and click Fake Out. I have 2 Mons left, one of which I think can help me a lot in Braviary, and the other being Scolipede. Now, I'm going to go out to my Braviary here, and this is, at this point, I just click Facade. Nothing else I can do about that. I just click Facade. He goes out to his Porygon 2. That's going to die to Facade. So Braviary picks up 2 kills this week, which is actually very good. I'm actually liking this Facade Braviary set with the Toxic. Well, I was Choice Scarf, but being able to be hit with Toxic just benefits my Braviary now. He goes out to Eugenie. It's at this point where I'm like, okay, we're solid. I can weaken it, and at this point, Scolipede wins. That's what I'm thinking at this point. I have Aqua Tail, I have Mega Horn, and I have Rockium Z Rock Slide. So I'm in a very good position to win right now with Scolipede. The problem is, I ran Adamant not thinking about max speed Landorus, and Landorus is going to end up KOing me, and yeah, that's kind of the disappointing end to this game. Now, Donphan, it was real close on it being a roll. I was just in that range of it being a roll. Rockium Z did OHKO the Crobat from the range it was at. Just 5 dumb mistakes, and it's just been the story of this all season for me. It's just been 3 or 4 dumb mistakes in each one of my losses from having a good record. And right now we're 4-5 now, pretty much just hanging on for dear life, trying to make playoffs. And we do take on the league leader in Hera next week and the SL Benfica. So it's not looking bright on playoffs wise, especially Arcanite picking up a W. He's now 3-6, so his differential is better than ours considering he's on a 3-game win streak. He wins next week, I lose, I miss out on playoffs, and it's just, I would say it's a failure season should I miss the playoffs, considering how well we played last season. So if you guys enjoyed this battle, go over, check out Sebast's channel. I will leave Blue Victini's channel. Leave his link down in the description below. Also, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment your guys' support for the hiccups there. Comment your guys' support for the Duckletts, and I will be back next week with our Week 10 battle to determine if we are in the playoffs. With all that being said, guys, I'm Johnny GB, and I'm out.